If you're looking for professional day trading education as well as high level trade analysis and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to do exactly that, give you professional quality day trading education all for free right here on YouTube and on X. So today we have a great discussion as well as going over a few trades. We're going to be talking about the trade plan in general and looking at it from more of a macro perspective instead of breaking it up into separate trades. So give me one sec. I am going to get my charts up and then we're going to rock and roll, folks. I hope you all had a great day. I know we did. And let's do this. So let me fix my chart. I did not get my shit together prior to starting this, but that's all right. Okay, so let's discuss today's trades. So the very first trade that I took was an absolute banger, well over 100%, very easy trade, but there's some nuance to it. Now, we opened up right at this 555.07 level on SPY, and then we opened up just a hair below 466.43 level on Qs. Both sound levels, and we can't take that trade because there's no distance. It's right on top of that. So what we waited for instead, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so on Qs so then you guys can see it, because it did happen fast, but it's exactly what we wanted. Because we opened below, we need a sign that this is ready to go long. So because it opens below, it pops up, pulls back, remounts. That's enough of a trigger for me in order to take that, because this level was so valid, because it's previous low of range. I discussed this level yesterday. It's an important level, and I've been discussing it for the past few episodes of this channel. It's an important level, and once it gives me that, as well as SPY is holding its support level as well, I will execute that trade. Now, I wasn't able to get a ton of size in it, which I would have, well, not a ton of size. I wouldn't have went with a ton of size, but I would have liked to have got a little more size than what I did. So let me just clean these drawings up a little bit. And now this trade absolutely was beautiful. This thing ripped. It absolutely exploded. Went all the way into secondary target and then some. It actually ended up going all the way into the 20 SMA on the daily. Now, I didn't hold all that way, but I did manage to hold it all the way up into our major level here. And I got in, I ended up making $7,885 on this one trade. Now let's talk about the short. So for every long, there's always a short. When you start at a support level, it's going to obviously come up and test a resistance level. And that's what it did. Now on this here, the very first trade was Q's short into this level. Now you can see on this, as it's coming up, execute, work that trade, get out, was slightly green on this, held a little bit more, and then just was looking for a little bit more follow through. Once it doesn't give me that follow through, I need to get out. So took the loss on that, knowing there's always a secondary trade. And this is important to the lesson that I'm going to give. So please follow along. So locked in a $2,925 loss on that. Now let's fast forward to the next set of trades. So as we come up into the secondary level, which is the gap fill, it's a super important level. It's actually a level that we really wanted. Executed, paid myself right there. And then as it starts coming up yet again, I work this trade short into that level and then just simply reap the rewards of resetting mentally as well as technically. So locked in 3,580. Now you might look at this, and this is where the lesson comes in. And this is what's important. You might look at this, one sec, at this trade and this trade as being separate. Well, it is and it isn't, right? So if you look at the closed positions, you're going to see one trade red, one trade green. Now, a lot of traders, where they make the mistake mentally, they'll count that almost as two trades. Technically, it is, right? Obviously, right? There's two separate trades there. But overall and mentally, it really isn't. It's not. It's one trade idea. When you strip things back to the most basic, purest form of that idea, right? The trade plan on cues was to go short into a resistance level. Okay. So if you take it just as that, you succeeded. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying this, and for those of you that might be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Just zip it and listen. Turn on those ears right now. This is important shit. If you separate trades like this, what you end up doing is you're going to dwell on that one trade being red instead of looking at the whole trade plan from the macro. Okay. If your idea is to go short and you short that first resistance area and it keeps going, you can look at it as a failed trade. It isn't over yet. Sure, you've cleared that position and you've taken that loss on the books, but it's the same trade. It's just at a different price point. And the reason why we need to do this is mentally, and for mentality reasons, you need to switch and flip things in your mind, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck on that failed trade. Okay. And you're not going to be able to get past it. And you're going to have a hard time resetting, because all you're going to do is you're going to focus in on that red trade. That's what you're going to do. And you won't be able to execute that secondary, because you're going to look at it like, oh man, I already have one red trade. What happens if I fail again? And that's how people think. That's how most failed traders or struggling traders think. This is the reason why I have the success that I do, because I work so much, not on the technicals, not on the strategy side. I've been working the exact same strategy for the past 11 years, guys. It has not changed. You can watch old videos of mine. They are the exact same trades. I take the same trade day in and day out. Nothing changes ever. Just the price points do. But what you do need to work on is your mentality and your growth mentally. That's what you need to work on. So sometimes we need to tell ourselves a certain story. And it's not a lie. It's simply working it so then you are able to do your fucking job. Because if you can't do your job and you're emotional, you're fucked. You will not be able to do this. Now, where people have problems with the stuff I'm talking about is they look at things very short term. And they'll look at things like, I don't know what he's talking about. I do just fine. For now, you do. If you don't work on these things, you will not have the longevity that I have. You will not be in this game having a wild amount of consistency as well as success for 10 years plus. What a lot of people don't realize is, and I know I've said this before, and I apologize to the ones that have heard this 1,000 times from me. What a lot of people think about is 90% fail, 10% make it, whatever that number is. Some people say 5, it doesn't matter. They think that that is 10% make it. No. 10% of retail traders gain a level of true consistency. That's it. And generally, that means short-term consistency. When you make it to 5 years of consistency, you are a 1%. 1% of retail traders make it to 5 years consistently, making money, proper money, actually paying their bills year over year. To make it to 10 years, a decade, to do this successfully for a decade is 0.1%. This is where a lot of people, a lot of traders that are coming into this, they get fooled by all of the bullshit that you see out there on social media and on YouTube. If you work it out for these people that have been around for 5 years, okay, just 5 years, it is 1% of them. 1% are legitimate. 1% can make it 5 years consistently and make money. Okay. And that's after you get to that 10%. Once you get consistency, to work that level of consistency for 5 full years straight is 1% of that 10%. Now, when you get to 10 years, that is 0.1% of that 1%. Do you realize how slim that is? It's not because this is impossible to do. It's not. It's not because it's impossible. It has to do with mentality. It's working on your EQ, your emotions. It's working on your mentality. And it is doing things consistently and with the utmost discipline and professionalism. If you can't do that, this will never work. So the reason why I'm trying to tell this to you is for the ones that actually do view this channel on a regular basis. You hit gold because you're dealing with a true 0.1 percenter. Okay. It's something that I talk about with my members all the time because sometimes that gets lost on people. 0.1%. I want you to think about that. So if this 0.1 percenter is taking his time to do this for free, right? You guys don't have to sign up for my coaching. You don't have to sign up for my service. I'm giving you all of this for free. It'll just take you a little bit longer to put the extra puzzle pieces together. You got to like and you have to subscribe. You have to. If this is the second time viewing my channel and you're not subscribed, you're a taker. Don't do that because I wouldn't do that to you. So on that note, folks, if you do want to do this as quickly as possible, come to tricktrades.com, work with a coach that actually gives a shit, and we'll see you there. I hope you enjoyed this. Adios.